Hi, everybody, and welcome back to EBnet Stream. We are now well into the compliance requirements for Joint Standard 2 of 2024. And just a reminder, that's on cybersecurity and resilience. And I thought I'd check in with a couple of funds to see how they're coping and what some of their challenges are. So thank you to Yolisa Skwintshi, who is the Executive for Information Technology at the EPPF, for spending a couple of minutes with me today to share their experiences. Welcome to EBnet Stream, Yolisa.
Thank you so much, Natalie. I'm glad to be of assistance and be with you today.
Lovely. I think to sketch the scene, perhaps we should start with an assumption, and maybe that's already dangerous, an assumption that by now all funds have a framework or a policy in place. Has that been your experience, and how did you guys tackle that process?
Okay, yes, it's an assumption. So all funds are supposed to have gone through the standard and be implemented by 1st of June 2020, which have passed. Right. So I think from our side, we've done well. We've tackled the joint standard with the FSCA. We did not do it alone. So I think what helps that the FSCA is very clear in terms of what are the questions that they give us, what is it that we need to have implemented, and by when, right? So I think that assisted as well. So the collaboration, the communication between us and the FSCA was quite good. And they have provided us with the questionnaire that we needed to go through to ensure that we comply. And so that assisted us a lot in terms of ensuring that by 1st June, we were compliant, which I think even way before that, as EPPF, we were compliant based on how we approach cybersecurity.
And the questionnaire that you speak of, just to elaborate on that, is that the questionnaire that a fund would send to all its service providers?
So it's a questionnaire drafted by the FSCA. So we needed to check ourselves against the questions. So
Okay.
it's quite a detailed one and really tackling the standard topic by topic and the fundamental questions that we needed to answer to ensure compliance. So and then we can comment on it to say whether have we progressed, how far we are, and what are the plans to mitigate if we have not met a certain criteria in the questionnaire. So it's just a breakdown of the standard itself and what's important, yes.
Okay, so almost like a checklist.
Yes, more like a checklist, but a much more detailed one, yeah.
Yeah, sure, I understand. Okay, lovely. So you guys have got your policy or framework in place, and now we're into post-production. And so now there is a requirement, or what are the requirements that you guys are busy looking at now when it comes to compliance?
So if we let's start from a framework perspective and what we do as a fund and how we approach it and how it made it kind of not easy, but not so difficult for us to be compliant. So as a fund, we approach cybersecurity by using the NIST framework. So it's an international framework that we use. It basically just gives us a proactive approach into looking at cybersecurity. So some of the requirements that are in the standard itself are found in the NIST, most of them actually. For example, the identification, protection, detection, how you respond, how you recover, how you remediate, all of those are found in the NIST framework. So if you look at the standard and you break it down, you would find the cybersecurity and cyber resilience fundamentals aspect of the standard is based on the NIST framework. So it kind of simplified things for us because our cybersecurity strategy is based on that international framework. So we were compliant from a NIST perspective, and we needed to look at the other requirements that comes with the standard. But mostly 50%, 60% of what is in the standard, we were already implementing and monitoring it the way the standard wants it to be. So that made it a kind of easy for us. So our strategy is based on that and how we approach things from audit, risk, and board of trustees is based on that. So that kind of simplified things for us.
You touched on something there called ongoing, that you phrased as ongoing monitoring. Are you talking about the FSCA's ongoing monitoring, or the board's, or is it a board responsibility to monitor this on an ongoing basis?
So I'll yes, and I'll go a little bit deeper when it comes to monitoring. So there's the IT monitoring, there's the fund monitoring, and then FSCA. So when I say IT monitoring, I'm talking about the technical monitoring of how we look at the entire environment, the IT cybersecurity environment, which is the IT security from a fund perspective. That is the responsibility of the IT department using various tools that we have. And then from a fund perspective, we've got the executive, we've got the audit and risk committee, and the board that has oversight over the entire environment. And yes, all our policies go up to the board for approval, and then we have to report, and they monitor and they govern they're responsible for the cybersecurity function. And when we do have reporting to do, whether it's a material breach or incident or whatever, then we have to report to the FSCA. So all of that process, right down from IT right up to the highest level, we do have it in place.
Mm-hmm. So, I've got so many questions, but just to hit on one. So you are an executive for IT,
yes,
and I'm sure and I'm sure by putting it, it'll put you on the spot to say to you something along the lines of, surely the bad actors and the use of IT for bad things is happening faster than the monitoring or the prevention thereof. I mean, what is your thought around that?
It's very true. So I did want to start from looking futuristic in terms of where retirement funds, pension funds are going. So there's a study that I've been looking at to say by 2040, 2050, the funds will be, so 2040 to 2050, the funds will have to be transformed, whether we like it or not, from a technology perspective. Blockchain technologies, AI technologies, hyper-personalization, and everything that comes with technology we will have to be transformed, otherwise we will die, right? So the pension funds, retirement funds will have to adapt to certain technologies. So when we talk of sometimes financial institutions, we kind of look at banks, right? And we forget, people kind of forget that pension funds, retirement funds, actually we are real financial institutions. So we have to have the giant leap and compete with the bigger financial institutions, which people look at as banks. So with that transformation comes cybersecurity whole. And I think the standard comes in at a very right time, so that we have a structured approach into looking at cybersecurity, because it kind of creates a structure for us to say, what are the do's and don'ts? What is it that we have to look at? So this cybersecurity going forward with the digital transformation, technology transformation, will play a very huge role in the pension fund sector, in employee benefits. So we have to be compliant all the time. And yes, so we are technology. Cyber criminals are technology experts. Right now,
Yes.
going into your question, but I just needed to give that background so that we can also think futuristically. What I'm saying now, they've already thought of, and they're already thinking of a way of how we can crack this. By the time we get there, they're already there, and they're just taking us a few steps backwards, so that we can be challenged. So it's very important to have that understanding. There are some cyber criminals that started as pure, honest technology specialists, and it evolves to become cyber criminals because they know better. They know the loopholes. They know the holes into everything. So as technology people, we have to always and all the time relearn how to do things, because of that threat that comes with that. So the very clever people more clever than any others, because they do kind of think forward. They're very futuristic. So we have to be on our toes. So from an IT perspective, that learning path and looking into the future is very important. From pension funds, we hold a lot of money that do not belong to us really, that belong to the members that we serve. So we need to all the time understand that and treat the environments that we have with proactiveness and care, understanding the impact thereof once a breach or a cyber incident occurs. So it's that relearning, learning all the time, and be futuristic in terms of how we do things and how we approach technology, and ensuring that we are protected for the members that we serve.
EBnet is proud to bring you top quality content from experts across the financial services industry in South Africa and internationally for free. Your support helps us in doing this. All we ask is that you subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Share this video with others you think will benefit from it, and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. That way you help us help you. Thank you from the team at EBnet. For more great content, please visit www.ebnet.co.za.
Yeah, it's a serious and quite a deep issue. And when we look across the industry, we see a number of funds and a number of administrators and service providers doing different levels of compliance. Yet you kind of sketch the scene of the nefarious intentions being across the board. So from your point of view and in terms of your experience and knowledge, would you say that Joint Standard 2 is applicable to all retirement funds, and in the context of the FSCA's word proportionality? And how would you differentiate between a fund like yourselves? Because I'm sure some people are watching this going, oh, but they've got lots of money, and they can and big departments to support this. We're just a little fund. So in your interactions with the FSCA and in your experience, how would the smaller funds deal with this?
So firstly, I think it's applicable to all funds. One thing we should not do is to think we are too small to be compliant or too small to be proactive. Because cyber criminals, they really don't look at how small you are. All they want is what they want. And if they get it from you because there's loopholes, they will get it. So I think all funds need to follow the standard, be proactive in terms of protecting the environment that we had. So I don't think it's a choice, this fund, that fund. I think we all have to do it. And of course, also depending on sophistication and affordability, we can then look at what is it a certain fund can afford. But I think there's various ways that even a small fund can tackle the standard to be compliant. I don't think it's a matter of we're small or we don't have that much of assets so that we can invest in certain technologies. But I think there's various ways that the standard itself can be tackled to be compliant. It's not a very complex and sort of need large investments. So it's basics. There's where they talk of hygiene, cybersecurity hygiene, right? It's basic things that we need to do. How we monitor, how we respond, how we detect. And some of these things are not really looking at size or what is it that you can afford or the capacity or what you have. But I think it's some of basic hygiene things that any fund can do in order to be compliant. So I think all funds need to look at the standard, need to be compliant to the standards. It's safer that way, because if we then don't, the impact that it has afterwards, you say, I'm small, I can't do that. But then at the end of the day, we need to think of the community and the members that we serve, the impact thereof of not being compliant. It's much bigger than not doing it at all.
Look, I'm going to share with you. I'm an information officer, and you talk about it's not technical and it's not complicated, but that's with all your knowledge and all your IT expertise. I don't have that knowledge, so I can sit in meetings and people will use words, to be quite honest with you, that I don't even understand. So what is the function of the EPPF board? And my real question is, how much IT expertise do they need, or are they able to rely on experts out there?
Okay, so maybe we're talking technology and money and all of that, but if we really look at cyber, it's a human thing. How attacks come into an organization is through a human being.
Mm.
What's important is to educate and train that human being not to do certain things. It's behavior. If you get that right, then you've probably solved most of your problems when it comes to cyber attacks, because a criminal will send a phishing email and Natalie clicks on it, and then voila, the entire fund is gone, right?
Mad.
So I think let's not get into technicality and technology of things. Let's start from the basics, and the basics is to awareness and training, which also the standard requires each and every fund to do. Once you train and you make your employees aware of what's going on out there, then you've solved half of your problems.
Okay.
I think it starts from there before you get to the much more technology sophisticated tools, which as you grow as a fund you might need. But once we impact our employees with the knowledge that they need and provide scenarios. For example, we do simulations on a yearly basis as a fund. We gather all departments together and we simulate a certain kind of attack. Maybe it's a data breach or it's a whatever form a scenario can be. So we do that every year and we call all departments and we rotate. If you did not attend last year's one because of the numbers, you must attend that. So we keep them aware and we simulate some of these complex scenarios and incidents that might attack the fund. In that way, we're impacting and we give our employees knowledge of what to do and not to do, and what to do when the incident actually happens from a fund perspective, from a collaboration perspective. That is not technical. It's behavioral, what to do, how to respond when certain things happen. So that's one aspect, and I think a major aspect of what we need to do in order to prevent these kind of issues that we have from a cybersecurity perspective. So employees need to be well informed, and you keep on training and retrain, and obviously put the necessary technologies and systems in place. So we need to look at that first before we get to the technicalities. It's human, it's behavior.
Such a powerful statement to make, because I think, like me, a lot of trustees are stressed about the words or the jargon, and unlike POPIA, in my opinion, cybersecurity and resilience is ongoing.
Yes.
POPIA you can learn and you can implement and you're done. Well, I mean, aside from the reporting and the ongoing updating of your processes, maybe, but cyber, because the process of cyber attacks is rapidly advancing, it's a compliance standard that you will almost actually never meet.
And you're quite right. And I think that the point where you say you'd never meet, it's what we need to keep in our minds, because I don't think we can outsmart the cyber criminals. I don't think we can outsmart them, and therefore it's good to be on your toes and say, what do I have to do next to meet the standard? What do I have to do next to meet the standard? I always say, and people laugh at me, if you look from a risk perspective, I've never worked in an environment where everything is okay from an IT perspective. If you come to me with a green environment and everything is in IT, And then I get suspicious. Something is wrong. Right? And I like the mindset of being on your toes and saying, you know what, there's always someone out there doing better than I can, or doing better than we can. And therefore we need to always make sure that we learn and come up with other ways of it's very rare to I can't say we've 100% met the standard. We have areas of improvement. But as a fund, we are there. We're not comfortable, but we're working and mitigating some of the things that we need to mitigate. And like you're saying, and you're rightly so, anyone who meets the standard 100%, I would really love to see. And we don't want to be in a place where we comfortable. We're always looking at out there, monitoring our environment, collaborating with external service providers, international service providers to see what's going on out there, what might come to South Africa, and what has been done. And we do that with our independent consultants to understand what's happening out there.
Mm. I just want to, we're running out of time, and there's one question I do want to ask, and if you, I'm hoping you're comfortable to answer it, Yolisa. What has been your biggest challenge so far with compliance? Cyber compliance, I should say.
Human.
Oh, you know, they click on everything.
Human. Yeah, it's human more than the IT environment itself.
Wow.
My worry is a person, and that is a challenge, that will not do their training, their cybersecurity training, that will not attend the awareness programs that we have. And then they receive an email with a slight difference from Standard Bank, or, you know, and they click on it. So for me, that is my worry. That's what keeps me awake at night. And like I said, most of the attacks that we get in any organizations, they come through a human being. You will get an email that talks about payroll is about to cut, do this, because we all love money. We click. So for me, the biggest challenge and what keeps me awake at night is ensuring that our employees and our members, for that matter, they are aware and they know what's happening in the world, and they try not to do what they're not supposed to do. It could be an email, clicking, or sitting in a restaurant trying to connect through your Wi-Fi or your phone, or whatever the case may be. So for me, it's always human.
Are you telling me now, for some free advice, that I shouldn't do my online banking when I'm sitting at the Mug and Bean?
Please don't.
Yolisa, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this afternoon. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. I'm sure I will reach out again, and keep us posted with any lessons that we can share in the community. I would appreciate that.
Yes, definitely, Nathalie. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.